I'm Rakan Sleiman. I'm VP of Product here at UNITH. We'll be speaking about generative AI today. Generative AI is essentially just predicting the next best word. I often think about it using examples. If I asked you to complete a phrase and I started by telling you I am, and I told you that there's 5 or 6 words in it, you would have very little chance in guessing what the remaining words would be. But if I started to add additional words to that, then all of a sudden you would become more and more likely to predict the next best word. So like if I added I am going, you will start to think that, okay, he's probably going to a place or he's going to do something. So you start to become much more able to predict the next best word. And that's very much how generative AI works. Kevin, our business development and partnership manager, for example, he has a lot more context about what I'm actually going to do today because him and I are doing the same thing. So if I asked Kevin, he would be in a much better position to guess the next best word. But if I completed that sentence, just to play this, and I said, I'm going to Berlin, and there was one more word after that, you're more likely to guess today because I am going to Berlin today. So to summarize, generative AI is simply predicting the next best words, and the level of predictability becomes better the more context you have. So the more words that are provided, the more able it is to predict the next best correct word or contextually relevant word. The problem of hallucinations, from my perspective, it's very clear. It's just making stuff up, right? And we call it hallucinations, but the reality is, it is just that. We all, as individuals, have a tendency to make things up, right? We do it sometimes intentionally and other times we do not do it intentionally. And it's very much the same with AI. I always say that there are some people that are much more likely to make things up than other people. And many times those people are not making things up because they want to lie. They just get so into the zone of the conversation and just almost believe what they're saying. My example of I am going to Berlin today to attend a conference, the reality is the generative AI could very easily say that I am going to Paris today to go Café Trottoir and have nice coffees and croissants in Paris, which I would love to be doing. From a language perspective, that's absolutely correct. How do we manage that? By ensuring that the training context that we provide to the model beforehand is heavily weighted towards the fact that today I'm going to Paris because it knows that I have a flight, it knows what time my flight is, it knows what I'll be doing tomorrow, it knows some of the meetings that I have, where those meetings are, etc. So we manage hallucinations by providing lots of very relevant context that support the use case of our digital humans in our case. I also have an anecdote that the first time Idan, our CEO, asked one of our digital humans, who is Rakan, it responded by saying that Rakan was the very first digital human ever created by UNITH, which is not true, of course, and we've since then trained our AIs to know who I am, and we've also trained our AIs to know that if you ask who is Johnny or who is Anna, our AI will respond by saying, I'm sorry, I'm not allowed to divulge that kind of information, it's private information. And from our perspective at UNITH, ethics is one of the most important things that we think about. We want to make sure our digital humans are used in the right way, they deliver information they should be delivering, they contain no bias, not only in the content that they deliver, but also in the way that they look and in the way that they feel. We are needing to question ourselves all of the time because we, of course, get many inbounds of people looking to do very, very interesting things with digital humans, and then we almost need to ask ourselves, like, hey, does this pass our test? And that's the conversation that we have on an ongoing basis. Internally, there's a debate more and more so where we want to make sure that the way we promote our digital humans align with the values that we have and the ethics that we have and how we see AI actually being used to help people perform better and achieve much more.